Okay, so it's got a bit of a clunky feel to get into neutral. So if you're coming to South Africa, you want to do a trip on your own, or if you want to come ride with us in the CFMOTO 450. Hey guys, Val here from the Adventure Company, and today I've got a big favor, or a big luck from the guys at Motor Rentals, which is our bike supply agents. I've got the CFMOTO 450 for the day. So these bikes are now available from 2026 to rent, the CFMOTO 450 MT as well as the 800 MTX. Today I'm taking the 450 with a bit of luggage on to see how it performs on the open road. We're going to do a bit of stretch on the N1. Then we're going to hit some gravel roads. And then we can see if this is a bike we actually want to add to our stable. Right, today I've got the amazing opportunity to ride the CFMOTO 450, kindly borrowed to us by Executive Motor Rod Rentals. They are our motorcycle suppliers. So we're going to take this baby on the open road. There are loads of review videos, so we're not going to go in depth. Throttle, 7,870 kilometers. Yeah, the test ride is basically to see if I like the bike, if I think this is something I would get as an additional bike for Adventure Go. I can already feel that clutch. Let's get used to that. And the seat is way too low for me. So right there is where my comms microphone decided to not sync to the GoPro anymore. So I was happily chatting away, giving my reviews, giving my thoughts, and nothing was recording. So I'm going to put some background music on, and then I'll just do some voiceovers and tell you what I thought. Alright, cool, let's get the show on the road. Just did a quick fuel stop. And let's start this baby up. Bit of tar road left, and then we're going to hit the dirt road and see what the CFMOTO feels like on the gravel. So as I mentioned before, there are loads of online reviews. I'm not going to go into too much technical detail. It is a smaller bike coming from a big cylinder bikes that I ride. So if you're looking to scale down, this might not be the best option for you. You might have to go intermediate and then step down to the smaller bike. I found the seat to be quite low. For most guys that have got short inseams, that struggle, they want to flat foot, that's going to be the perfect solution for them, no problem. If you're slightly taller, I would recommend getting the rally seat, and that would be an option as well. Okay, so it's got a bit of a clunky feel to get into neutral. And then it's simple. ABS off, and it's now in off-road mode. So let's see. Can take it slow the first bit just to get the feel of the bike, the feel of the brakes. The front brake lever is quite nippy compared to what I'm used to on the old 1150. The back brake is quite potent as well. But let's see how it goes. So I just want to wait for that dust to clear a bit. That simple on-off traction control button at your disposal is really quick to turn off that traction control to getting into off-road surfaces. Plus, wind protection was more than adequate with the small screen, and if you drop that screen going off-road, it's actually good. You get loads of airflow over you. That I didn't like about the bike when we had a client up with this bike last year, is the fact that these headlights aren't super bright and very visible, especially when you're off-roading. So just from a visibility point of view, I think some nice small bright spotlights with yellow covering on be the way to go. Yeah, let's see if I can explore that. That little 450 is so good off-road. The KYB suspension, the 21-inch front wheel, it just soaks up the bumps and the ruts. You don't feel like you're bouncing all over the show. You never feel out of control. The throttle is super snappy, very responsive, and although the bike hasn't got loads of power, it feels like there is more than what there actually is. However, if you have to travel long distances on highway or open roads, it might become as a bit of an irritation because you're really battling. You know, at about 130 km an hour, you're sitting at roughly 7,000 RPM, and I think the red line starts at 8,500 RPM. And this one has already got the 15-tooth front sprocket conversion that most guys seem to do. So be aware of that. I added some luggage on the bike to make it more realistic and get a more holistic overview of what the bike would feel with a bit of weight on the back. Not heavily loaded. Small panniers on the side, and on the one side I had some of my coffee stuff that weighs a little bit with the drone, and on the other side I had like a full tool roll, tire repair kit, those kind of things that you would normally take on a trip. So still very light. You couldn't really feel the weight on the bike. Everything tracked fine. It wasn't abnormal. Everything felt like you would expect. On the highway everything performed great. And even off-road, that luggage didn't get in the way at all. It was perfect. You couldn't feel like there was extra weight. I cannot vouch what it would feel like if you'd carry an extra person, though. I probably doubted that 450 would probably struggle a little bit if you had some extra weight on the back. Right, cool. So just on a 250, 300k ride with the CFMOTO 450 MT, and it's a very cool little bike. It won't replace the 1150 just yet, maybe as a secondary bike, but certainly very capable. Loads of reviews online for it, so I'm not going to run through all this stuff. Got to be certain that you know that it's going to be a lot less power than the bigger bikes, but the throttle is very responsive. It's got more than enough power if you go off-road, and it actually soaks up the bumps, everything quite nicely. Like I said, this is straight from our rental partners. I didn't do any suspension setups, didn't change anything on the handlebars. You can see it's kind of flop a little bit backwards for relaxed riding on tar road. But if you want to rent this bike, check it out on adventureco.co.za. There's a section for motorcycle rentals, and they go from 1,990 rands per day. So if you're coming to South Africa, you want to do a trip on your own, or if you want to come ride with us, and the CFMOTO 450 is definitely a really good choice.